one of the things we were going to talk about was maintaining mobility. I guess that's not just falling, but as you age.
Yeah.
And I guess part of that is being able to walk and get around.
Yeah, well, mobility has two benefits. One, what it does for the body, and two, what it does for the mind. You know, how you move in all your joints, and taking even something as simple as a walk. Everybody knows if they go for a walk, they come back feeling better every single time, and it's because of how moving the body actually stimulates the mind, and it can actually break the stress pattern. So it's very hard to think your way out of stress and think your way out of worry, but if you move your way out or go take a walk or get into nature, you'll find that it's a little easier to push that stress off till it comes back again, but it's a little easier to break that stress pattern by getting your body moving, and that's because the joints are so involved with nervous system and the brain, and it's just a faster way to shut that stressful part of the brain off is by moving your body. So that's the brain benefit. The body benefit obviously is, you know, the better your body moves, the more it can pump the muscles, the more it can bring new blood in and push old blood out, the more the spine can move, the more the joints can bring hydration in and inflammation out, and all those things help your body last longer and feel better. Poor posture can cause your spine to wear out faster. And poor posture can also make your muscles have to work harder. You know, the more you're leaning over and the more your muscles have to pull you back up or hold you up, the harder they have to work. Whereas if you're up straight and just letting gravity sit over your spine and have your muscles be more like balancing cables, then, you know, you're not working your muscles as hard. And then the spine is more aligned and over the disc, so it's not pressing, the bones aren't pressing on each other as much. And that can really help a spine last a lot longer. And with watching TV in bed or cell phones or different things, that constant chin down, looking down thing can really start to cause the spine a lot of stress. It loses the curve in your neck, and then with that consistent pressure over time, the ligaments start to change, the discs start to stay compressed, and then they lose their ability to hydrate themselves, which can eventually lead to dehydration of the joint, which is arthritis and disc disease.
Oh, okay.
So that's another place where you see the lack of water causing a problem in the body. If you want to ease up from any problem, what you do is first you want to improve the habit that's causing the problem. So you want to get rid of the bad habit that's causing your posture or any health thing to progress in the wrong direction. So you replace it with a habit that actually promotes health. So the first thing is address the habit. The second is incorporating things that actually improve health. So the chiropractic adjustment, loosening ligaments, getting rid of scar tissue. So if you decrease the bad habit and replace it with a good one and then do things that promote better health, your body will move in the direction of better health every time for whatever you're talking about, whether it's a knee, a neck, anything. When you think of exercise, some people think of, you know, bench press, treadmill, running, doing different things, but, you know, exercise can be whatever you want it to be. And so as part of my exercise program, I am on the boardwalk sometimes, and I meet people up there that have, you know, are 70 or 80 or 90, and they're still exercising. And so I watch what they do, and even once in a while they show me some things they do. And there was a lady that taught me one time, you know, this low, deep squat and coming back up, or swinging your arm motions, just simple stuff that you would see people doing, just move their body around. And she said, if you do this, you'll be able to do this even when you're 80. So these are little exercises that help you improve your balance, help you improve going into a deep squat in case you ever have to get up off the floor or maybe catch yourself before you fall on the floor. So the main topic for everything I'm trying to describe here is you can make workouts based off the type of lifestyle you want to have. And not everybody's lifestyle is biking 50 miles or running a marathon. Some people it's getting off a couch. Some people it's just getting relief and starting to feel better. Some people it's balance. And you start to do exercises as early as possible that promote the things that you're going to need throughout your life far beyond the bench press. You know, the things like getting up and balance and all those things. You can start working on them right now. And if they're bad and you want to get better at them, you can start working on them a little each day and your body will get better at them. Your body will tell you what it likes and what it doesn't like. And sometimes your body can be in positions that, you know, you may not feel, but you know, maybe years later it could put you in a bad posture and become a problem. So I don't know if it's necessarily a perfect science that you have to be in a perfect position every day, but you should be aware of the positions you're in and realize that the best position you could be in is what your posture looks like when you're standing, because that's where your ear's over your shoulder's over your hip, and your hip's over your knee and ankle. I mean, that's alignment.
Yeah.
So you want to try to promote that as much as possible, but you don't want to be so hard on yourself that you don't enjoy a show or a book or whatever, whatever you like to do when you're relaxing. But if you do have those things, it's also nice to have things that counteract those things. So I have workouts that I do that are designed for posture, that are designed for my neck and designed for my low back, and I try to sit as little as possible. So before I watch TV, if I'll be on the floor beginning to watch the show on a foam roller or on a ball, or I'll be doing a couple stretches to unwind a tight spot so I don't go to bed with that tight spot, so I can wake up refreshed and start back at zero for the next day. So it's just about being proactive and aware of what your body's asking for and feeding it what it needs. And if you do that, it'll do great things for you.
How about sleeping posture, John?
Yeah, I have whole videos on sleeping posture. So for some people, if they're in pain, it's whatever posture gives you the most relief possible. And then as you move up into trying to get into better postures, once again, it's that alignment model. And, the book I have has all different alignment postures for sleeping. It has my 5-minute sleep test. So when you go to test out a mattress, it helps you try to figure out what mattress would be best for you and what pillow would be best for you. And I have full videos on, looking for the proper sleeping posture. But the main goal, again, is try to sleep how you stand. Can your knee be over your shoulder, can be over your hip, so you're not twisting your head or turning your head or tilting your head hour after hour after hour. And one little tip for side sleepers is, if you just put your hand here and put your hand here, this is how it should look like when you sleep. If they're doing this or this, you're on your way to stretching your neck in the wrong way for the next 4, 5, 6, or 7 hours.
Wow.
How the spine works is you have a bone, a disc, and a bone that make a nerve hole, okay? If the spine is moving, it's like a sponge under the sink. Life pours soap in, sponge moves, suds come out, spine lasts longer, and that's very important because it's the one thing protecting how you feel, how you move, and determines everything that goes on in your life because your nervous system made you, heals you, and repairs you.
Wow.
If it gets stuck and doesn't move, now life is pouring soap in, the water isn't going in and out because that one spinal joint isn't moving, and when it sits in its own suds or inflammation, that's what causes over time the spine to age faster than it should.
I see.
That's what leads to disc disease and arthritis.
Oh.
And that's why chiropractic adjustments are so powerful, is because we can find which joints are stuck and get them moving again so they can clean themselves up and slow the aging process and protect the nerves better. And by doing the one thing of keeping your spine healthier, you're getting the trillions of benefits of having your nervous system work better. And that's how people heal.
Wow. So that comes back to how important balance is to be able to prevent the falls.
Right, yes. So you want to work on those things long before you need them.
Yeah.
You can't wait and have the benefits of what it takes time to do. And anything anybody tells you, whether it be any type of doctor, any personal trainer, massage, chiropractor, anything, it's time, consistency, and discipline that allows you to receive the benefits of eating a salad or anything. And there's nothing that you can just snap your fingers and get when it comes to health, because we need to give our body the ingredients, and then our body does something with what we provide it, which actually allows our health to improve, and we can't just snap our fingers. But no matter where you are, here's the good news, no matter where you are and no matter what situation you're in, there's always a better version of yourself you could be working towards. Because you can have arthritis, you can have different problems, you can be in pain, you may not be able to get off the couch. But if you start investing in yourself today, little by little, you'll have a healthier version of what you have, and then you'll be able to find some relief, and you'll be able to be more mobile, and you'll be able to do some of the things you're looking forward to doing as your health improves. But there's also a worse version, which is you can have these problems, and if you do nothing about them and you don't start the process of restoring health, the body can go onto a negative pattern, and those problems over the years can get worse.
And that's why chiropractic care is so important.
Yeah, nobody takes care of the spine like a chiropractor. Yeah. Nobody knows how to keep the spine as healthy as possible. And because the power that made you, heals you, and repairs you runs over those nerves, having your spine healthy and being able to protect that power is one of the best things you could do for your health. The thing about the spine is the spine doesn't have any feeling. So the bones don't feel anything, the discs don't feel anything. It's usually the muscles, the nerves that you end up having the irritation or the stiffness with, and that comes after the spine is aged or the spine has become arthritic. It's more likely to cause those type of irritations and aches. But you don't feel it while that process is happening, and that's a 10, 15, or 20-year process. So the idea is you don't want to wait till you feel things, because by that point something's already happened.
Right.
You should be taking care of your spine so you don't feel those things. Because what we do find is people 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, the reason they're not going on vacations, the reason they're not living their life, the reason they're having trouble sleeping, or they can't say yes to barbecues or whatever, it's because of the pain they're feeling from arthritis in their neck and hips and backs, because they didn't take care of their joints over those 15, 20, 30, 40, or 50 years. You know, we're taught to exercise for our heart and lungs. We're taught to strengthen our muscles, and you can get and lose muscles in 6 months. But if you let your spine go or continue to let it go, it's very hard to just get that kind of health back. And that's why you want to just take care of your spine, because it's the right thing to do.
John, what causes the neck pain necessarily?
So there's the habit, which is it because of the way you're sleeping on a pillow? Is it the way you're sitting in your chair? Is it the way you're looking at your phone? Is it your workstation? Yeah. Is it how far your steering wheel away is from your car? There's a whole list of aggravating factors that can cause your neck to be irritated. But equally important is the health of your neck as you're doing those habits. A healthier neck has a much longer runway before it becomes aggravated from putting your head down or from the weather changing or from all these different things. But an unhealthy neck, the wind could blow the wrong way, or you could pick up a paper clip, or you can sneeze, or you can look to your left and then look to your right and cause your neck to be aggravated if the health of your neck isn't good. So you want your neck to be as healthy as possible. If you could think of it as a container, the healthier your neck is, the bigger the container. The more habits you have to keep your neck healthy, like stretching and adjustments, the more you can constantly take out of that container and keep that container empty. The more you do things and the less you take out, that container can fill up and overflow. Oh. The bigger the container, you have more room to fill it up with the things you do, stepping off the curb wrong, sleeping wrong. The smaller the container, the smaller the window of error. But no matter what your container is, you want to get your container as big as possible, which are your healthy habits, and then you want to take out of the container as much as possible, which are the things you do to promote health in your body and for your neck. You want to look at habits. You know, how are you sleeping? How are you using your pillow? How are you doing the dishes? How are you picking up your kids? How are you putting them to bed at night? You know, all these different things, all these even positive stresses are going to go into your body and into your neck in some way. So you want to do them in a way that promotes the least amount of stress possible in that body part. And then secondly, each morning you should be warming up your spine and warming up your muscles to get ready for your day. I tell everybody you're a pro athlete at whatever you do, because you do it every day for hours a day. So you should treat your body like a pro athlete and take care of it. So you need to know what your daily activities are and have stretches that promote taking the stress off from those activities. And you should also have exercise programs that strengthen what you want to do so that your body is more capable and ready and able to do whatever you're going to ask it to do. And if you do that consistently, you'll notice that you can do a lot of those things at home. Hundreds of chiropractic techniques. Okay. Yeah, so we do a little of both. We do instrument, we do hand adjustments, but it's not the chiropractor and it's not the adjustment. It's the body that has the ability to heal. And so the whole idea of that, when we talked about the neck and we talked about the joints and we talked about arthritis, we talked about stuck joints age faster and moving joints stay younger and protect nerves better. So whether it's by hand, whether it's an instrument, if you can introduce motion back into that joint can clean itself up again and protect those nerves better, and the body is what does all the healing. Wow. So the technique is as long as it accomplishes motion in the joint, the person's going to get a good benefit. Yeah. It could be as gentle as you want to be and still be as effective you'd hope it be. for 15 minutes to get what you get with a chiropractic adjustment, I don't think there's many other therapies that can compete with that.
No, that's for sure.
A cell phone is
And I put that up
the
here.
thing that brings your neck down.
That's true.
The
yes.
wallet is the thing that brings your hip up.
Yeah.
So there's two things you want to avoid. Yeah, and our body is so amazing and so resilient. I mean, how many hours of looking down and being on our phones does it take before our body even starts to cause us discomfort? So it gives us a long runway, but eventually we get to the end of the runway, and then fortunately at that point, our body does have pain as a signal to help us pick our head up or start better habits. Because if we didn't have that, human beings, if we didn't have something to slow us down from the path we're on, we would just keep going.
Yeah, good point.
So, I mean, nobody likes to have pain, but sometimes good things can come from that. So low back pain, the joints of the low back follow the same rules as the joints of the neck, but for low back, the different causes may be your first time it's spring and it's your first time in the yard for a while, or you can have a bad night's sleep, or you could be at the grocery store, or some people could even leaning over to tie their shoes can cause their back to go out. So there's different things that can cause low back pain. And a lot of people just think, oh, if I just strengthen my core or do something else. But the core is really your abdominal muscles. That's not necessarily your spine. And because the spine isn't a muscle, there's really no way to strengthen it. But what you can do is you do want to start with the spine, because that's the foundation of what your core goes around. So you can have a strong stomach, but if your back is locked up and not moving, and it's sitting in its own arthritis and the nerves are being irritated, you may be able to, move around a little better and find some relief, but you're definitely going to want to make sure that your back isn't aging faster and that the joints are moving. And then you're going to want to add sort of flexibility to your back. So many people have unflexible backs. You can stretch your hamstrings and you could stretch your calves, but a lot of people don't really know how to stretch their backs that well. And if the back continues to tighten up, then it becomes harder and harder for those muscles to move around and do things. So then if it's a cold day, or if they sneeze, or if they lean over wrong, that's usually the last straw, and they'll get a big hit to their low back. But a lot of times it's something that's been happening over time. Like we talked about that bucket. If the health of their back has been declining, that bucket's been getting smaller. And if they're not stretching their back and keeping their spine moving, that bucket's been filling up. And by the time they go to do something, that's when the overflow happens and they experience that back pain. So the reverse would be true, is the things you could do at home, like we talked about for the neck, would be to first, try ice, the same thing for the neck. You'd want to try ice first to get the inflammation down a little. You'd want to try little movements with light, super, super light stretching, just to see if you can get things to break free and loosen up a little bit. Some people do foam rollers or different things to try to loosen up the muscles. But if you notice, whether it's neck or low back, if you don't notice your neck or low back getting better, or you notice things getting worse or going into bigger areas, like if the neck turns into headaches or radiating into the arms, or if low back turns into hip, or turns into leg pain, or you find yourself it's less and less time that you could sit in a car, you just notice that things are going in the wrong direction. That's when you definitely should be checked by a chiropractor to make sure that your spine is protecting the nerves and that something isn't happening in that area. When somebody comes in, there's first the exam to find out what's appropriate for them. And then we have machines like a muscle stim, light therapy, rolling table, and the adjustment. And all together, they are designed to address pretty much what we've been talking about this evening, which is making sure stuck joints are moving, making sure the muscles are relaxed and flexible, and making sure we're taking as much tension off the body as possible so that it could get into an environment to promote as much healing as possible. And when you address all those things, the spine, the muscles, the nerves, you'll notice that people's health go in the right direction. And expanding on what you said there before, I'd say maybe 30 to 40% are instant wow. Yeah. Probably more is I noticed something's different, but I'm not sure yet. By 2 weeks, I would say 80 to 90% of the people, incredible difference, back to many things in their life, relief, things have really turned around by the second week. And then there's those people who maybe had long-standing problems or still have to do jobs or things in their life that are very physical that sort of slows their progress, and we try to work with them in those areas. But usually if we give that another week or two, usually by a month, there's a significant change. But those time periods aren't really unreasonable, considering that some people are coming in with 40 and 50 years of arthritis and never done anything for their spine before. So they're incredible results.
Jesus.
Yep. Well, frequency and consistency
right.
is where the magic is.
Okay.
You know, just like with any habit. And the closer you put adjustments together in the beginning, the more you get out of each adjustment. You know, that would be like doing a workout routine and waiting too long. And if you waited long enough, it'd be like you didn't do the workout at all. So you want to definitely get them together in the beginning to have the fastest change, the quickest change, and really the fastest way to relief, which is what everybody's looking for when they first come to the office, especially if they're suffering or if they've been suffering for a while. Relief is number one priority. For the chiropractic adjustment, that's where we find which joints are stuck and which joints aren't moving like the others, and we restore motion to them so they can, restore health to them, and so that they don't age faster than the other joints, and so that they can continue to protect the nervous system better, which allows people to feel better and be more active. Through the years, probably at 20, you start to notice when you hit the ground, playing sports or being out or being active. 30, you've gone through maybe an episode or two at that point, and you've maybe had one bad episode, or maybe you haven't had a bad episode yet, but you notice that before you never knew you had a body. You didn't know you had a neck or a back. And then maybe you start to realize after a morning or after a bike ride that you have a back. And then, 50s or 60s, if you, didn't have a couple episodes by then, you may have your first episode then. And then as you get older, people can actually, when they come in, you realize that they've been living with things for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, but they had to go to work, they had to pay the bills, they had to come home, and they didn't realize what options they had available to them. They didn't realize that they, one, could have not been suffering doing all those things. Yeah. Two, they could have been doing something to help their body handle what they had to go through each and every day. And three, they could have prevented arthritis and disc disease and accelerated aging that maybe could have been avoided by keeping the spine mobile and not have it locked up for 10 or 20 or 30 years before they really go to address it, because now they have a little more they have to deal with and a little more they have to overcome than if they could have prevented it in the first place.
It's interesting. I did not realize how effective chiropractic was for arthritis, and that seems to be many, many people I know.
It is all focused on keeping the spine healthy, and there's a lot of professions that focus on spine mobility and movement. But chiropractics have dedicated their last 120 years they've been around. It's been all about how to make a spine healthier, how to make a clearer path for the nerve so that the power that made the body can heal the body. And through that, they've received all the benefits of the amazing thing the body can do without the nerves being interfered with, and a clear path for the nerves. The flexible your muscles are, the more range of motion your joints have, the healthier your joints will stay. The less inflammation you have, the better foods you eat, the less your body has to sit in inflammation, the better the joints move. So it's never going to be a one-trick pony that solves all your problems. But here's the good thing. The more things you do to promote health, you not only get the benefits of those things, but you get the multiplied benefits of how well all those things work together.
Yeah, good point.
The care part of healthcare. That's where the healing starts before anything's even done.
Yeah.
Is that somebody knows that they're in a place that they're cared about, and somebody's going to listen to them, and they're going to be able to get the care they need. And the nice thing about our office is, because it's more like a gym style of things where you go to take care of your spine, you really get to enjoy people's lives too, and and learn about them and learn about them as people. And a lot of other offices don't have that benefit where they see people once a year or once every 6 months. Yeah. We really get to know people, and that's a good thing. Well, self-discipline is a very hard thing to overcome, not allowing yourself to do what you want to do now for benefits later.
Yeah,
that's a hurdle we all trip over. Everybody realizes, but those same nerves in your back that are causing you pain are also attached to your brain, right? So It's very stressful. Pain is stressful, and being stressed causes pain. So
Okay.
they're
Double
connected.
whammy,
Yeah, yeah.
Each